Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in the Ultimate Base 2.0. In the previous episode we took care of a couple of improvements and fixes for our fish farm, and we also improved on the volcano igneous rock generator. Now, because I was lagging behind a little bit with the cooling, there is actually a couple of things that I still want to improve. First and foremost, we cannot keep up with the current cooling for the steam turbines, and this is actually a quite easy fix. All we have to do is increase the amount of radiant pipes we have for the coolant here, and then we are not gonna run the risk of them going all the way up to 100 degrees and not functioning properly. Also right here we have 10 tons of igneous rock, which could be a problem if new magma is coming along and actually melting this. Then all of these tiles are going to fill up. So I'm gonna make one exception right now. So I'm gonna tell my duplicants to actually pick this up and bring it over to our storage system here. This in turn might actually heat up this little pool of water, so I want to add a cooling loop system to this as well, and we're actually gonna use the main cooling loop we're already using for a lot of things. Now, a lot of this will also change in the future, but for now I'm just gonna branch off right here. I'm gonna go straight down. We are gonna move over here, set up a couple of radiant pipes in these two places, and then we're gonna swing back around, just like that. And this should actually take care of all of our issues. Just gotta make sure we set up the bridges as well. That should be good. And as soon as that is built, I'm gonna go ahead and hook it up, so we don't run the risk of actually evaporating all this precious water if we put in too much really hot igneous rock. One more thing is I set the thermosensor to 350 degrees. We can have it all the way up to 400 degrees. So it exits the system a little bit sooner, and because we only have one radiant pipe here, we're not gonna lose that much of the heat, and this can take its sweet time in the dormant phases of the volcanoes in order to keep this cool, or cool it down even more. So if we just unpause for a little bit, we can see these generators were dangerously close to their limit. Actually, at 100 degrees they are not going to function anymore. And here we go, Bunny is already picking up the igneous rock and bringing it to the storage. There we go, the turbines are actually already shutting down. As you can see, I mean, they are cooling down immediately again, but of course we want to prevent this from happening. And if we have a look at the cooling loop, I still have this way below 100 degrees. So theoretically this should not be a problem at all. And here we go, some of the pipes are being exchanged, and if we have a look at the temperatures now, you can see it is going down already at 95, 94 degrees, and this one here as well, even 93, 92. It's gonna be much better this way. We still have 5.5 cycles until the next eruption, so we will come back to this when it is time. Some other interesting facts you dropped in the comment section is about the Pacus. It is actually the water temperature that is the deciding factor what types of eggs have which chances to occur. If you have normal temperatures, let's say around 20 degrees, then the normal Pacu are gonna be the most frequent. If the water is really hot, the tropical version will occur more. And if it is really cold, then the icy version of the Pacu will have a bigger chance. Another almost more important thing you let me know is it's actually not 30 kilograms they require per day, it's 140 kilograms of algae they are consuming per day, which is absolutely unacceptable. This way we would be using up the algae in no time. So with the DLC we now have a different solution. We can actually give them seeds, and if we have a look at this seed chest right here, mealwood seeds, I have almost 600 kilograms of it. And according to my research on the web, which I still have to confirm, they eat 0.3 kilograms of seeds per day. This is absolutely incredible. I mean, what we could do, for instance, is say the planter on the left is now going to be my fungal spore. And the rest right here we're actually going to fill up with the mealwood seeds in order to keep a steady supply of these seeds. So I will have to uproot this, but we are gonna swap this, so there's only gonna be one mushroom, which is enough to supply what I need to have supplied, and then the mealwood is gonna be mostly for the seeds, just using up a little bit of dirt, which we have a lot of. One important thing that should be mentioned is if you want to tame the Pacus, you have to use algae, otherwise they are not gonna be tamed. But once they are tamed, they will also lay tamed eggs, and therefore you can just keep on feeding them seeds. So let's say we don't want to feed them any more algae, right? We're not going to do that. Algae is now out of the picture. Let's just remove everything. And instead we're going to switch to mealwood seeds right there. Copy the settings over, and maybe we also want to limit this Instead of 200 kilograms, we're just gonna do 10 kilograms since the seeds are much lighter, of course. Also, this conveyor loader we kind of want to limit, though probably all the seeds are gonna have a space in here. But let's say we're gonna limit this pressure plate and we only wanna keep about 20 kilograms in reserve. Mealwood seed right here, that should be good, and then we just need a little bit of entry in order to regain the algae from here. So we're gonna store that back at our storage and then instead move the seeds. So let's actually see this happen. Algae has been picked up. Why did you bring it over here? I did not say I want algae in here. Oh, actually I think they removed it out of the fish feeder. Had to make sure this storage bin doesn't have a higher priority than my conveyor loader here, but let's see this happen. Yeah, there we go. I think Lindsay actually picked up all the seeds in one go. They're now all in this conveyor loader. That might be a disadvantage, but there we go. It already stopped and we're gonna have seeds for a very long time. And it actually looks as though they only eat 0.2 kilograms. Yeah, we're gonna have to keep on observing this, but holy cow, this is a game changer, being able to feed them just so little seeds. And all we have to make sure is we actually have enough seeds at our disposal. So maybe for now, mealwood seeds is something I wanna kind of keep under observation. At the moment we have 119 units available, and I believe that would be within the conveyor loader. So this is a pretty satisfactory change, I have to say. Last but not least, an incredible useful thing you let me know in the comments is that you can still place solar panels on top of the heavy watt wires. So if we actually test this out here, I can go ahead and place a solar panel right there and it is actually going to be built. However, I cannot place the solar panel and then afterwards the heavy watt wire. So admittedly, this is a little bit of a weird change. But there you have it. It is still possible. You just have to do it the other way around. Wires first, then solar panels. It's actually the same thing as with the gantries. If we have a look at our food supplies at the moment, you can see we already have 56,000 kilocalories of fish, which is almost as much as we have barbecue. This in theory means we are ready to swap to the surf and turf. We should already go ahead and set this recipe to forever. However, we're gonna need a more or less steady supply of natural gas to make this work. We learned in a previous episode that we actually have a natural gas geyser right here in the second world that we're gonna tap into in today's episode. This is going to be a fairly straightforward build, very easy. And I just see we don't have much access to water here anymore. We should go ahead and replace this pitcher pump. Maybe I can set up one here. Give me pitcher pump, please. No. Yeah, I first have to remove it and replace it. But that is another thing we need anyways, and that is more water. I also just see we are at the moment wasting energy. I need a switch in order to shut this off. So let's place this pitcher pump a little further down, and I'm gonna need a way to actually get up there still. The natural gas will be expelled at 150 degrees, which means we're gonna need a little bit of steel to make this work. If I'm not mistaken, we still have steel in here. Just 50 kilograms. We're gonna need enough to at least make a pump, which means... Oh, actually 50 kilograms would be enough for a pump. That is mighty convenient. Okay. We could probably use sedimentary rock for an insulation tile. In contrast to igneous rock, which is usually the material I go for, we don't have many disadvantages. The specific heat capacity of the igneous rock is much better, but the thermal conductivity is still low. However, if I can find some more igneous rock to quickly dig up, I'm actually gonna go for it. Well, let's get everything prepared in order to tame this natural gas steam vent and then supply our kitchen with it. Looking at the cooling loop right here, I still want to actually fill it up completely now that we enlarged it a little bit. There are too many free pockets in my opinion. And also the way we set this up at the moment, I'm not completely satisfied. I think what I want to do is just set up a bridge going from this place over here. Then we're gonna remove this bridge and just have it come all the way down straight. I think generally this is gonna be the better way. We might also go ahead and set up a third steam turbine. But I'm only gonna do that if we desperately need it, if it doesn't work otherwise. Anyways, I wanna wait for the next cycle so I can send Jean over to Otto's planet in order to analyze the volcano, and then I'm gonna send her straight back. Hopefully we can actually do it within one day. To prepare for this occasion, I'm already gonna go ahead and actually dig it out. And I also want to make sure this is actually possible. Looks like we can easily set up a bunch of ladders. And then we're just gonna go ahead and actually surround this with a whole bunch of insulated tiles. Now, this is not gonna be enough space. Of course, we need the space for a pump. So what we're gonna do is have our pump right here in these tiles, and this still leaves us enough space for a pressure sensor in order to actually activate the pump. The cooling will happen through the natural gas geyser itself. It's gonna be very easy. So Atu can already go ahead and actually start building that in preparation for Chin's arrival. There he is, doing his job. Wonderful. I'm so proud of you. If you're lucky, this thing is gonna be dormant for a couple of cycles. But if it's not, we will just have some natural gas in the base. Not the worst that can happen. We still have 4 cycles to go. That means 4 cycles in order to prepare for the next eruption. And it's actually looking pretty good in terms of temperatures. I have brine in the cooling loop, so that's going to be one thing we need to get more of. We still have enough brine in this pool, so I'm just going to reset up the liquid filter here. Brine is going to come all the way down. Don't want to cross this tube. And we're going to use it to completely fill up this loop. All the other liquids, of course, can be dumped back into the pool. I prioritized the liquid filter so we can set this up right away, and I don't forget about it. I also want to cut it off at some point. Let's do it right here, so it doesn't happen in the background when we don't realize it. My 2 Pacu seem to be extremely happy and productive. Let's actually check in this pool. Oh, these guys, I'm so sorry. This is probably the most cruel thing I did to critters in this game. Oh, no, no, no. The natural gas geyser is actually active. Okay, that is bad luck. And there it is, already emitting stuff. At least it's gonna be a little bit warmer and cozy for Atu. I'm gonna go ahead and actually speed up a bunch of these tiles so we can take apart the ladders and already prepare for the next step. Now let's see, Jean is probably already ready. Let's check her out. Where are you? You should be in bed right now. Yes. And she has slept more than enough, so we're gonna send her right away to the teleporter. There she is, a teleport. Please hop over with me. We're gonna go ahead, analyze the natural gas geyser at priority 9, and Jean should be taking care of that right away. Not 100% sure if she's going to be quick enough, but we can always hope. Atu is not feeling well at the moment. That's okay. He was healthy for far too long recently. Analysis completed. Jean, you can already go back. Thank you so much for your service. That was actually butter smooth. Looks like it's going to erupt once again before we can finish anything, but we can go ahead and start setting up the gas pump. So we needed a little bit of steel to make this work so it doesn't overheat. We're then going to use some insulated piping to get out of there. And I guess all we want is to go straight over into the input slot of the teleporter. Obviously, also right here, we want to expel materials we don't really want. This is only going to be a problem in the beginning since we still have other gases than natural gas in the joint. So we're going to set up a gas pipe element sensor using a little bit of copper right there. Gonna hook it up to our chute. Actually, we only want natural gas to go in here, so that's why we need a NOT gate. Just like that. And I'm not sure if I already mentioned it, but we wouldn't have to use a NOT gate if we are only distinguishing between 2 gases. But I'm assuming we will get different types of gases such as oxygen, polluted oxygen, maybe a little bit of carbon dioxide depending on what's happening. And that's when you need this NOT gate, so you can expel all other gases. Let's say I only have polluted oxygen in here and the other gas would be natural gas, then I could set it to polluted oxygen and therefore the polluted oxygen would be expelled and the natural gas would go through. That was a question that popped up recently. Yeah, Atu will not be able to finish this in today's cycle. We just have to live with it. Yeah, the stress for the cooling system is over right now and we still have 2.6 cycles. That added up pretty well. But we have to keep it observed. Depending on the amount of magma we're getting, we could still get into troubles. I'm still gonna go ahead and actually now fill this up with all the brine that fits in the cooling loop. And it's just gonna go ahead and fill up all the empty spots we have. This should be everything. I'm gonna cut it off for now, but we'll have to observe it. I'm just gonna keep the pipe in place in case. In the meantime, Atu is continuing his work. I'm gonna go ahead, deconstruct these ladders as well. And then we also want to pick up all the items. So I don't want any of that in the joint. No, sir. If we're lucky, we can still profit a little bit from the natural gas in this active period, but it's soon gonna be over and then we have to wait for like 40 cycles. So I'm not sure that is gonna be quite enough natural gas for us. Wonderful. Everything cleaned up, just a couple of items to go. In the next cycle we'll be ready. In order to be ready, of course, we're going to need a place to actually store the natural gas. For now, I'm gonna set up just something very easy. This doesn't really need to be very fancy in the beginning until we have a proper storage solution. So maybe as of this point right here, we want to go ahead and set up a bunch of gas reservoirs. We'll have to see how many we actually require. I'm gonna get started with 3 of them in order to store the natural gas. We're gonna have to do a gas element sensor here as well and only let the natural gas through. I'm still pumping the occasional carbon dioxide out of here. So let's do our usual setup with a NOT gate and a bunch of automation wire, like so. And then we can continue the line going directly into our reservoirs. I'm gonna daisy chain them like so. That means the last reservoir is gonna be filled up the first. We then need to make our way inside of the kitchen straight into there. Let me see, we already have gas pipes in the way. I think what I want to do is go straight over and up at this point. Gonna have to jump over here, jump over there. And then right here at the height of the kitchen, we're gonna go, let me see. We're gonna have to avoid the steam room. Yeah, I'm just gonna wiggle around here. That is gonna be fine and straight into the gas range. Wonderful. Right here, before I forget, natural gas is what we want to filter out. I think I'm gonna just let them build that and see how it turns out for now. Before I forget, we should also set up a atmo sensor in order to check the pressure in this room. I'm gonna set it up right here. Did we build it out of lead? This could be a problem, since lead actually comes with reduced overheat temperatures. Fortunately enough, these sensors don't have a overheat temperature and the melting point is 327 degrees, so we should be fine. Gonna connect this, also the wires, just to be sure. Yeah, same overheat temperatures. R2, it's time to wake up. Oh, he's still got popped eardrums. Yeah, we're still suffering a little bit from the off-gassing everywhere. What the heck just happened here? Refined material is dropping. Wait, what happened here? This is interesting. It's like someone took it apart and also the automation wire has disappeared. Well, maybe let's focus on finishing this building, then we can close it off and we don't have to worry about the heat issues. Also here, the gas element sensor should be detecting natural gas. Steel gas pump is in place. Oh no, we need power. Totally forgot about that. In this world, I'm mainly gonna need the power for the oil wells eventually and maybe a little bit of processing. But I think we will be able to get away just using normal wire all the time. Yeah, let me go ahead and set this up like so. In case we need to change it, it is going to be rather easy to enter this room. Ah, look at that. Something weird happened. It's like all my plant buildings just disappeared. And what are you talking about? We have more than enough igneous rock. We have like 2,000 tons. Where is everyone? I have absolutely no idea what just happened here. This is extremely intriguing. But yeah, I guess we're just gonna rebuild what we had so far. Man, I'm so confused. Okay, almost done. It's time to cover this up, hopefully before the next eruption. Let's maybe just go ahead and prioritize this as well, since we're probably gonna have to wait another night. Come on, R2, you can do it. I believe in you. Yes, wonderful. We're gonna set the sensor to above 500 grams for now. This is only gonna make sure that we don't run the gas pump all the time, even if we have very little pressure in the room. And here we go, finally done. Let's connect these pipes, We should be able to run this pump now. And then all the gases we don't want are gonna be expelled, hopefully, only leaving the natural gas left. I mean, technically we don't need this. We can just go ahead and run the pipe if we wanted to, because we have the same setup on the other side. However, it's not something that requires power and I can always take it apart later. So right now the natural gas is arriving here and we just have to make sure that my guys are building the gas reservoirs. And there we go, the first one is being filled up. Let's just hope we can actually gather up enough natural gas to do most of the cooking as we're waiting for the next active phase of the geyser. Just one more pipe to go and then it can continue flowing. It should go straight through and filling up all of these pipes. Wonderful. Otto, our cook in this world, is gonna have something to do. Oh, there we go. I actually just missed the eruption, but yeah, we already are cooling down the items again, and we were able to get this all the way down to 10 degrees again. So we are starting off fairly cool. and we can take our sweet time with this. I'm gonna get back to this contraption in just a second. 13 cycles, and this one is also still gonna take 8 cycles to become active again. It's really a good thing we have so much time in between the eruptions. Natural gas is arriving at the gas range. How much can it actually take? Looks like it has a capacity of 10 kilograms right now. R2, I want to see this working. What do I have this at? 7. So we're also gonna set this to 7, the gas range. And if it works to switch to surf and turf, we are gonna restrict barbecue and cooked fish from being eaten raw. Well, not raw, but we want them to completely switch to surf and turf for the morale boost. In the meantime, I'm also going to activate this pump here manually, so we can get rid of this layer of natural gas and maybe a little bit of the pressure of this base. As a matter of fact, I want to go ahead and automate this, so we're going to set up a Atmos sensor that checks just how much pressure we have here, and at a certain point we want to activate the pump. Actually, thinking about it, I might want the Atmos sensor somewhere else, for instance right here. This is going to be more representative of what's going on, and I guess we can just drag a LED wire all the way there. That's good. I'm going to set this to approximately 2.5 kilograms, so if we have too much pressure, then I'm going to start pumping out. Just another condition for this pump to become active. And there we go, R2 is actually doing his thing, and we got our first surf and turf. Wonderful. 12,000 kilocalories. I'm taking that. However, let's clear it up, and I want to make sure this is now included with my auto sweeper. We actually don't need the fried mushroom anymore. Well, not grapefruit preserve either. Yeah, this is actually a really old setting. I want to have surf and turf in here, omelets, Pacu fillets, cooked fish, and barbecue. That's all I want to keep fresh and steady. Let me see. Yeah, we are still able to reach this. Oh, I'm so glad this actually works. So we can bring our surf and turf to safety as well. Currently, I'm filtering out everything that is not carbon dioxide right here, but I think we should be able to get rid of this since we have the safety system on the other side of the world, and that also means we don't really need that. I mean, it's unnecessary. Let's not have it if we don't need it. In the main base, the carbon dioxide is going to be expelled right here, and then obviously we will store the natural gas. So everything else at the moment is landing in the world, which is totally fine with me. Alright, cool. I would say we actually swapped successfully to surf and turf. We already have 53,000 kilocalories and still more to cook up. Let's say we also still have quite a bit of natural gas lined up. If we check on the second planetoid, this is still producing, and it's gonna produce for another 7.5 cycles. We might be able to get away with this. The Atmos sensor here is in place, set it to 2,500 grams. So now, as long as we have some overpressure going on, the gas pump is going to run, which also means all the gases are gonna be expelled. Now, I would like to completely empty this room at some point, so only the natural gas remains. Which is why I'm going to set this to below, so the gas pump just keeps on pumping, and then hopefully eventually we will be able to get rid of this polluted oxygen the next time the natural gas geyser stops. Actually, now it's bumping back and forth, since we still have an overlap of the polluted oxygen, which there's only very little, and the natural gas, which there's a lot of. With that out of the way, let's have a look at the consumables. Surf and turf is gonna be the new diet, so we wanna restrict barbecue. Actually, nobody can have barbecue and nobody can have cooked fish. We're also gonna stop grapefruit preserve in this world. Actually, the omelets I need to keep for O2. So you are allowed to eat omelets. What is this? Roasted grapefruit. We don't need that. And we also don't want to eat the bog jelly. Yeah, basically they shouldn't eat anything other than surf and turf. And of course, O2 is gonna eat the omelets. Wonderful. With that out of the way, I'm gonna keep on digging with O2. I want to make sure that we don't dig into the place with the spore shit. Otherwise, we're gonna have a rude awakening with all the zombie spores. So that's gonna be interesting to deal with that. Other than that, we should now slowly but surely make our way to the oil reservoirs, since that is gonna be useful for our next step. But yeah, I would say with that out of the way, let's wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I would definitely appreciate a like, and if you are not yet subscribed, you would do me a huge favor actually changing that. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great time and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.